Greetings, friends and fellow cigar box guitar enthusiasts. Del Puckett here, and in this video I'm going to share with you, teach you, and demonstrate all of my fret leveling hacks to help you to get all of your frets to be level, at least to hedge your bets anyway. If you watched the last video, I showed you guys how to make these abalone, fake abalone and inlays. And I told you that in this video here, which is the next video, I was going to reveal which neck has the real abalone and which neck has the baloney. So be sure to watch this video to the end so you can see if you were right in your guess or not. And so let us, you and me and you, let us start leveling frets. So first things first, templates. As you know, I'm an affiliate for cbgitty.com. So I get all of my parts, including the templates and the saws, everything I get from cbgitty.com. And there is an affiliate link with promo codes for discounts for y'all in the video description below. So I do recommend that y'all get yourself a fistful of these things here. These are the longies. And I particularly like the one that say great neck, because who doesn't want a great neck? So the point is it's got to be super straight. Super straight. And I know I'm stating the obvious, but your wood has got to be super straight. And so the nice thing about this is that you put your super straight great neck on this, and then you look up to the light and you look in this little crack right here, and you're going to see if there's any deviation. And if there is, you kind of just rotate this thing around and you'll find an edge that's better than the other ones here. And so I can tell here that there is a little bit of light coming through here on this axis here, but this axis here, yeah, this is perfect here. And again, I'm looking up to the light through the little crack here, and I can see that this top side here is perfectly straight. Now again, I'm just hedging my bets here. That's all I'm doing here. I'm starting off with my neck as straight as possible. That's the first thing. And what's true for the neck is also true for the fretboard. So if you choose to use a fretboard, same thing, right? And you can tell pretty instantly here. You just pick it up and sight it. Just look down here. Now I go to the big box stores, and the big box stores have these hobby boards, whatever, and you can get them in any flavor, any species of wood. So I pick them up, and I'm just sitting there looking at one. Nope. Ah, and I find one. Keep that one. Next. Nope. Yes. So you might have to be picky and choosy. But what was I going to say? The straightness of the fretboard is just as important as the straightness of the neck, because you are going to marry these things together and they will become one. If you've been around this channel for any length of time, you know that I use double-sided sticky tape, and I tape the template to the fretboard, and I make sure that the side of the fretboard that I want to have the fret slots on it is facing down, because my slots will be on the bottom side here. And all I do is I run it through the table saw back and forth. I got videos, multiple videos on that procedure. I'm not going to go into it on this video here, but I am going to talk about the depth of the fret slot, because that is important when you are leveling your frets. Yeah, you might be saying, yeah, but Del, I don't have one of those fancy fret slotting thingamajig things. It's okay. Pencil, of course, a template, and a square. And then it's just a matter of marky. There's more than one way to skin the cat. However you decide, and these guys here, they're perfectly here. You can just mark right through these things here. So however you do it, doesn't matter. You're going to get your fret slots transferred onto your fretboard. This is the important thing here, is that you want to get, if you don't have a jig or a saw or whatever like that, you're going to need to get one of these fret slotting saws. And again, I get these at cbgitty.com, link in the description below. The point is that we want to go deeper than our fret tang. And I will show you up close here exactly what I mean here. Hey, check it out. I can see myself in the reflection. Yay! And just like we use the square to mark where the fret slots are going to go, we're going to use the same square to ensure that our saw blade is perfectly perpendicular to the fretboard. 90-degree angle, whatever you want to call it, right? And so you're just going to go slow and low. The point is that we want to be deep enough here, and I'll show you up close exactly how deep you should go. As you know, frets come in all shapes and sizes, different materials. Of course, I get mine at the cbgitty.com, link in the video description below. The fret wire itself, and I'll show you an up-close picture here in just a minute, has what they call a crown, which is the top part, which is kind of rounded. Then it has a tang, which is a little piece that goes down with barbs on it that goes into the wood. Here, I'll show you a picture real quick. All right, so here you can see the crown, the top part of the mushroom there, and then the bottom part, you can see those little barbs in there. Okay, so those little barbs on the bottom, that's the tang, and those are measured in probably millimeters. But that's how deep you want your fret slot to go, and I usually go just a little bit deeper because I want the bottom of the underside of this fret wire to sit flush on the top of the fretboard. So that tang has got to go all the way into the slot perfectly. Here's a nifty little trick. Just using a Sharpie, see that little line right there? All I did is I got my fret wire, put it up underneath there, kind of caught it on the little lip there, so I know exactly how deep I need to go. And then of course I just hit it with the Sharpie. So as I'm cutting, I know exactly how deep I need to go. All right, so here is an example of how deep you can actually see that it's right to the tip there. And I'm confident that that's deep enough. You also want to make sure that it's straight and not at an angle either way. So go straight and make sure that on this side is the same as on this side. The only way to do that is to, like I said, go slow and low. Guys, look at those pretty fret slots. And if you look at these guys here, they got sawdust and gunk in there. So depending on your process, you're going to get sawdust and stain and paint, all that yuckity schmuckety in there. You want to make sure to get all of that gunk out, because if you have stuff underneath there and you try to jam a fret in there, of course that fret's going to be high because it's got junk in there. So get all your junk out. Once you have all of your fret slots cut and cleaned, I recommend that you go back and verify quality control just to make sure that yes, indeed, all of your fret slots are straight and at the right depth. You want to find out now, not later. But once you are confident and you feel like you're going to proceed, then it's time to get down to business. Now, I recommend getting yourself a flat-edged pair of wire cutters here. A lot of them have the bevel on this side as well. They have a bevel on the inside. I recommend no bevel on this side, just flat, 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 so that you, when you cut them, you're going to be cutting flat against the board there. So again, this is not rocket science, guys. This is cigar box guitar science. You're just going to put that in the slot, right, with that little tang going down. And it's going to want a tendency to want to fall over. You just got to work with it. And you'll know when it's in there because you'll see no reveal along here. Right? This is all flatness. And then using your flat end snippers, I do not recommend gluing these guys down. I have glued them in the past, but it was unnecessary. If you do a good job and you have the right thickness of slot, you won't need to glue it. It'll fit nice and tight. And you'll feel it because when it goes in, it offers a little bit of resistance, and so you know when it's in there. So I'm down to the last three, and I did want to mention something that I forgot to mention before. And that is, with this hammer, you don't want to King Kong it. You just want to kind of just enough to get that sucker to seat in there. Because if you bang it, it could go in too deep. And if it goes in too deep, then it'll be buzzing on the next fret. Right? So you, whatever, you got to practice. Obviously, you got to practice. And and of course you're looking at it as you're going in. So you kind of know when it's in sufficiently and how much bang pressure to put on it. So, and you want to be consistent. You don't want to be soft over here and then bang one in real hard and then soft over here and then bang one in over here. You want to be the same, consistent. You want to bang consistently. With the same bang force. Okay. All right. So now we're going to dress these edges of the frets. I've got many videos on that, so I'm not going to go into it on this video, but I'm going to take care of that before we go into the actual leveling. And just like that, all my fret ends are dressed and polished. Now, I just looked at all my frets, and they're almost perfectly level. There's a couple, 2 or 3 that are high. Now, this is what I do. This is what I recommend. I recommend getting yourself a nice bright light. And then what you're going to do is you're going to angle it such, and you're going to have, and this is backwards here. This way I'm going to do it here. I'm going to do it away from me this way. So I'm looking down, and I'm looking at the reflection off of the top of all of these frets, and you'll be able to see fret to fret to fret to fret, and you'll be able to see your outliers. And I can see 2 that are high. Here, I'll show you what I'm seeing. I'll show you what I'm seeing. All right, so for the sake of this illustration, I got my light down there, and I got this thing angled up here at an angle, and so you're going to kind of come down here, and you'll see there's 3 frets, one right here, one right here, and one right there. So those 3 frets are visibly high. You can spend all sorts of money and get all the designer name brand fret rockers, or you can just get yourself a piece of metal that's got a flat edge. And I got a bunch of these things laying around here. Long, big ones, different sizes, whatever. And you can use these things here to rock the fret here. So I've determined by trial and error that this fret here is high. This is a little bit higher. And how you can tell that is you put your rocker on the fret and you can see it going. You can actually hear it. I'm rocking back and forth on that high fret. Now, if it wasn't that way, then there would be no rock and roll. It'd be like as you teeter back and forth, right? It would be perfectly flat. So it's perfectly flat. A little bit of a teeter there, but there's a good one there. Yeah, so there it is right there. There's the offender, this fret right here. So again, just lovingly. And look at that. She gone. Now this one's here. I didn't see that one, but there it is, gone. So you're going to do that systematically for all your frets. Yeah. So when you get up here to the skinny frets, you got to kind of go back with your smaller rocker. Yeah, and I know I already looked at all these. These are all good on this side over here. So that is one technique to ensuring all. And then of course you're going to go back with your light, double check, and when they're perfect, it's like hallelujah. It's like, you know, when you just look at it how perfect it is just by the uniformity of the surface of the frets one to another. Another trick I employ to bang them all in at the same time is get yourself a nice straight piece of wood, or it could be metal, as long as it's got a nice flat edge. You just bang them all in at the same time, right? I like the wood because it's there's we're done, dude. We are done. Can't get any better than that, guys. I know we are not professionals here, guys. We do not claim to to be the smartest guy in the room at all. I know you guys probably have tips and tricks and hacks and techniques and stuff like that. Be sure to put those in the comment section below. Share your wealth, dude. Share your knowledge. This is probably just scratching the tip of the iceberg, right? I guarantee you that there's probably better methods out there than this. This is, like I said, that's why I call this video hacks, because together, you and me and you, you and me and you, we're just hacking our way, right? So guys, I hope you learned something. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give us a like, a thumbs up, share, and all that good stuff. If you're not a subscriber, maybe consider subscribing to this channel so that you can get more information on playing cigar box guitars, building cigar box guitars. If you're a cigar box guitar enthusiast, then I would recommend to become a subscriber. All right, guys, that's it for this video. May all your frets be level. May none of your strings buzz. No dead frets. If you do this, you can ensure nice, smooth, low playing action. It's gonna sound better. It's gonna intonate better. It's just gonna feel so much better, guys. So take the extra effort and make sure all your frets are leveled. All right, guys, that's it for this video. Cheerio. God bless. We'll see you in the next one. You guys probably thought I forgot, but I didn't. As promised, I was going to do the reveal from last video, which I issued a challenge to see if you could tell the difference between the fake abalone and the real abalone. So if you remember, I built one of these guitar necks using the abalone inlays. And the other one, I cut up some of my guitar picks that look like abalone into these little round dots using a hole punch. And then built one guitar using the real abalone and one guitar using the fake abalone. And I asked if you guys could tell the difference. And they did close-ups and zooms. And most of y'all guessed that the top one was the real abalone. Well, if you look really close, you can see the difference here. The top one is the real abalone, and the bottom one is the guitar pick. And you know, depending on the angle, you can really pick up some of the light. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell depending on which angle you're looking at. So, some of the angles that kind of look, the bottom one looks kind of dullish, but it's a pretty good ripoff. So if you haven't seen that video, go watch the other one here, and you can see how we built these inlays. All right, guys. Later.